That's it. Sunday Four is live. It's Thursday night, live on YouTube, exclusively on YouTube. First time back in the week. How you doing, What's going on?
Doing all right, hanging in there, staying cool.
Yeah.
Blasting
Cool as
that
man.
AC.
Yeah, it's the time of year. It's not even a question. You just got to keep it rolling until you get a little break in the action here. What are you gonna do?
That's
Can't
it,
torture
man.
yourself. Save a few bucks.
No, fuck that. Fuck that. We'll keep that. We'll save that for the winter.
Yeah. We can bundle up a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
blanket.
that's the ticket. Are you as cool as Matty Carpenter here? Down up 2-0 in the count. Yanks down 2 here in the ninth.
Carpenter in the 3-hole. Batted cleanup in game 1, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. I like Carpenter a lot, but I don't know if I want to. They get like too excited with these guys, start plugging them in 3-4. Like, all right, like it's not what you didn't get him to be your 3-hitter.
Well, I haven't even seen the lineup tonight. I'm assuming Stanton's batting cleanup, so they like
Yeah,
they like breaking up those. They like having a lefty up there. We saw Gardner up there a few times, which was preposterous. So they're obsessed with putting a lefty up there. Third, second.
yeah. And Carpenter's been better than Gardner had been at any point in the last couple of years. But even still, again, not why you got this guy. You get him to plug him in there to the 3-hole.
Nah, they fall in love with these lefties. They want to plug them in up there. So whatever. He goes deep here. All's forgiven for batting Matt Carpenter third.
Yeah, well, I like Carpenter, so it's not an issue. That's not the issue. I got excited when he gets up too, but nope. And there's a game-ending double play. Okay, never mind.
All right,
Send it back to St. Louis.
moving on.
Moving on, yeah, quickly, quietly. Forget today happened. It is tough. It's tough to lose a doubleheader. It's tough to get swept in a doubleheader. Usually, like one team, takes one, the other team. It's usually a split. I feel like it's always a split in these doubleheaders.
Right. Frantesi used to always talk about that. A lot of people's system is they bet game 2, the loser from game 1.
Yeah, I've done that.
You would have got burned today. I don't know. Oakland is up in game 2 of their series. So if you bet Oakland, then you're splitting your doubleheader bets.
I also wouldn't have ever bet on Oakland. So,
well, they're playing Detroit, so
still, matter of principle.
Detroit, yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I'm not. I don't know. I feel like I'm actually more of like a glass half full Yankee fan these days because I'm not gonna go nuts over these Houston games.
I don't love it. I feel like
you don't like that they went. What's that now? 3. So they split. So 2-5 against Houston this year.
I don't like that. No, because it's Houston. They've always kind of had our number, and I'd like to at least feel a little more comfortable especially going into their ballpark, which we never seem to hit anything. So
they don't hit in Houston. I'll give you that. But I mean, so last year, for example, they took 4 out of 6 from Houston, and the only 2 games they lost were when Chad Green gave up meatballs to Altuve. One in New York when they could have swept, and then another one before the All-Star break.
Okay, yeah.
5-game comeback, and last year's team was dog shit. So, and I took nothing out of that team last year beating Houston 4 out of 6. Houston went to the World Series. We weren't beating Houston in the playoffs last year. We weren't even going to sniff Houston in the playoffs last year.
Right.
I can't, that you want to see a team play well. I can't get that wrapped up in the results. 2018, another year, it was when Gleyber first got called up, and obviously you're coming off 2017 losing to Houston in 7, that team. They had a few good wins in Houston. They took like 3 out of 4 from them. I think they took 5 of 7 from them in the regular season. And the 2018 team, I mean, they went out, quietly in October against Boston. So, if anything, it's just riding the waves of the season, I think. I mean, they could easily lose to Houston in the playoffs this year if they get to Houston in 5 or 6, and then this kind of long soliloquy kind of gets lost and looks stupid. But I don't know if I just feel like the Yankees have put themselves in a position where like they could be 7-0 against Houston right now, and my mindset would still be the same. I think their like inflated regular season record has kind of made it look like they're up here and everyone else is down here, but I think it's closer to like
it's
closer
fair.
to like right here.
That's fair. Yeah, you're right. Maybe we have overrated them as on a whole, because of how they kind of started the season. Maybe we put them on a little bit of a pedestal comparisons to the '98 team, which are a little unfounded, a little early in the season, outside of their win-loss record. So it's possible. Maybe you're just being a little more realistic. You're sticking to what I think we talked about this at some point. You're sticking to what you had kind of predicted before the season, anyway, which is pretty much. I mean, they're kind of coming back down to the pack now. Houston's, I think, they're only like 2 games worse than the Yanks at this point after sweeping today. Or maybe even closer. But
2 in the loss, maybe 3 in the loss. I don't know.
Yeah. So, maybe you're onto something. Maybe it's just a matter of managing expectations early in the season when they were really rolling, and understanding that there's going to be some kind of coming back to the mean there.
I think my expectations were so low coming into the season that I'm at a place now where they've just exceeded every one of my expectations that I'm like, I can't go nuts. And also the problem is,
trust your instincts. That's what you're doing.
Right. I mean, I still don't think they're going to win at all, but like, I can't like be negative about a team that's 24 games over 500.
Yeah.
Definitely some issues to work on, but like when you have a 11 game lead in the loss column now in the division, it's hard to get that. This is the problem. Unless they let Tampa back into this, or I don't know, Toronto's 14 games back. Like I guess Tampa would be the team that could push them a little bit. When you have this big of a lead in the division, and you're all eyes are on October, the only games that matter really are like these measuring stick games against Houston and then Boston, which is why that split in Fenway was like under a microscope.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I'll give you this. Other than like these 2 games, like were not great, but Friday night's loss, last Friday night against Boston, that was the loss that made me like have PTSD from like 2021 and 2020 when they had a million opportunities. Like I wasn't even watching the game because I was somewhere where it was on Prime, so I'm at someone else's house, and it's like, I'm like, do you have Amazon Prime? Do you have a smart TV? It's like
it's really the worst thing with all this shit, Amazon and Peacock. The worst is like going out anywhere, friend's house even, like that makes it awkward. Going to a bar and like, why aren't the Yanks on? I go, it's like fucking Amazon tonight.
Yeah, imagine asking the bartender like, could you have Amazon Prime? I'll give you my info. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is really ridiculous. Like the old ball game at a bar thing.
Yeah, going extinct.
On a Friday night. It's like when you're supposed to be on. Like, bullshit.
That's the worst. Yeah, that is kind of the worst part of it, because Friday night is the night where you could find yourself at a bar. And maybe you're even like, all right, you're like older, right? You don't really do the bar scene anymore. Maybe you're out to dinner with your wife, but you got that seat where you can kind of see the TV in the bar. You get fucked.
It's going to be a long lost skill getting that seat. Like, oh no, you sit over here.
Yeah, eventually your wife knows, like, you just where you got to sit. Like, you want to be facing the TV.
You're going to end up sitting down in that seat, and it's going to be fucking, like, Fox Sports is going to be on. And it's going to be, like, I don't know, team volleyball qualifying for the Olympics or something.
Yeah, it's going to be like a 30 for 30 or something on there. I just have ESPN, generic.
Yeah. Yep.
So I got aggravated, like, following it on my phone. I can only imagine what it was like watching the game that night. But then they responded Saturday and Sunday, and they beat them up, and I was like, all right.
Yeah, that felt good.
Yeah, beating up on Boston a little bit.
The real like big news. It's not even news. It's all rumors, obviously. But like the availability of Soto is been like talking point since started the All-Star break. Really, it's nothing to do. So that's what they talked about was where Juan Soto could land, if anywhere. You think? Let's start just initially. You think he's going, or you think he's staying with the Nationals this year? Or do you think the Nationals move him?
The fact that he turned down $400 million over 15 years tells me he wants out. But if I'm the Nationals, and this is kind of like the situation, I don't know how many more years of control they have. 2.5?
I think a year and a half, or maybe 2.
Oh, that's
I think
year and a half.
Maybe it is 2.5 years. I think it is 2.5.
Okay, so 2.5.
Yeah.
Just a similar situation like the Nets are in. A little bit different because Durant's an older player, but in terms of team control, like if I'm the Nets, I'm playing hardball. Why? Do you think? I mean, it depends. If you're the Nets,
with anybody who wants him, you mean?
Yeah, I'm not running to trade Juan Soto. Like maybe two and a half more years of control. Maybe you make a quick turnaround next year and you go to the playoffs, or who knows, come out of nowhere and win a World Series, and then all of a sudden he wants to stay.
Yep.
The only thing I could think of is why it would be beneficial to the Nats to trade him now would be at the deadline. Teams are a little more desperate. They see like they're missing one piece, so they might be able to fleece the Yankees farm system and get Volpe and whoever.
You can get a haul for him, yeah. But with any prospects, you never know if any of them are going to work out. But that's been the thing with the Dodgers. Like they've been able to do shit like this, get these players, like all the big time guys in the block. They bring them in and somehow still have this ridiculous farm system. I don't quite get how the Dodgers do it. They've got
a lot of resources.
The kid Gonsolin. Like how's that kid not been in a trade? Gavin Lux, they've hung on to the catcher. They've hung on to these guys forever, and they've contributed. And somehow they've managed to trade for Scherzer and Machado and shit like that.
Traded Alex Verdugo.
They traded Yordan Alvarez.
Oh, Yordan was in the Dodger system?
Yep.
What deal was he in?
I don't know.
Yeah, with that said, you trade Volpe in a second for Juan Soto. You'd have to.
Yeah, I mean,
if they have two shortstops in the minor leagues, right? Peraza is the defensive wizard guy.
Yep.
And Volpe is Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, Lou Gehrig rolled into one.
In single A.
No, he's in double A, right, Volpe?
Oh, no? Sorry, it's very advanced.
I think he's in double. I don't know. I don't really follow. I can only follow one team. I gotta follow fucking double A and triple A. I follow the Scranton account on Twitter. That's good enough. Yeah, sometimes I get the lineup. Miguel Andujar's hitting 500, batting third. Joey Gallo's batting 160, batting ninth, and getting pinch hit for in every late game situation.
Houston acquired Alvarez from the Dodgers for reliever Josh Fields during the 2006 trade.
Wow, that was I remember Josh Fields too. That was they got fleeced.
Yes, yeah. It wasn't even that good of a reliever they got.
That's a rough one. Yeah. I thought they got a big player from him.
No, it wasn't even that big of a trade. Yeah.
Well, it's a tough one.
But yeah, I mean Volpe, he's from Jersey. Everybody loves him. He's from Jersey, and everybody's looking for the next Jeter. I don't know. You have a judge. What's that?
You're out on Benintendi?
I mean, I don't love that. Do you think he gets a shot if he gets traded to a contender? Because you saw that the owner. What did I say? The shot, right? What did I say?
Yeah, I didn't know if I misunderstood you. Does he get a shot, the literal shot?
Oh no, yeah. I meant does he get the vax if he gets traded to a contender?
Yeah, but if he does, he's getting that J&J.
Yeah, he's gonna buy. Yeah, he'll get the cheap one, or he'll get he'll get the Fugazi card if he got it.
Wow, whatever. Yeah, just get a good one. Don't get the Antonio Brown. Was it Antonio Brown that got pinched?
Yeah.
Don't go to Antonio Brown's guy.
You saw that the
Antonio Brown got like the McLovin vaccine card.
you saw that the Royals owner went off on Whit Merrifield because I think it was Whit Merrifield didn't get the vaccine.
Just the whole team. They fielded like a AAA team in Toronto.
Yeah, I know. It's like Whit Merrifield was like, I would have gotten it if we had a chance this year.
Wow.
And the owner was not happy about that.
So you trade me to a contender. I'm first in line for the shot.
That's what it sounded like if the Whit Merrifield camp. Yeah.
All right.
No, I'm not 100% out on Benintendi. I'd like a little assurance that we're going to see him in the playoffs if we have to go north of the border. But
I wasn't on Benintendi, but the whole like maybe playing Toronto thing, like you're going to give up pieces for a guy who might not be able to play games 3 and 4. Like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I would need assurances that he's going to be a good teammate here.
Is he going to come breathe on people in the clubhouse, the tight quarters? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's like 5th in the league in hitting though, so I just don't know. Like I'm probably reading a little bit too much into it. But like if the whole Yankee team is vaccinated, like does bringing this guy over like upset? Yeah, they probably won't give a shit. But like I don't know. I just think about like when they have to make the trips up to Toronto regular season and he's not there. It's like weird.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
I never thought about that. Like the shitty teams, like who gives a shit? We get like a vacation. We get a weekend off, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They had to go to Toronto. Like 10 guys got to just hang home and just like sleep in their own beds, wake up, make a little breakfast.
They probably went down to Florida, which is the anti-vax capital of the world.
So South Beach for the weekend. Hell yeah!
Pictures of Benintendi on a boat someplace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, even before the season, there was rumblings that some Yanks, like maybe Judge wasn't vaccinated, because he was being like coy. He was being coy about it in the preseason.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, it was like we're all vaxxed, and it was like overnight, everyone was fine. Like Rizzo was rumored too that he wasn't, and all of a sudden, it was like, no, everyone's fine. Going to Toronto.
Yeah, that could have been some shady business going on down there.
Well, after we win the World Series, they could write the book about how everyone faked. Whatever.
Anybody get COVID at the Yanks this year? Or no, I don't remember any. I think the last person to get COVID was Phil Nevin last year, right?
It's a good question. I don't know. I can't keep track.
Biden has it. President got it.
President got it. He's getting some pretty good health care, though, probably.
I don't know. Free healthcare, yeah. I don't know why he didn't go. I don't know why you go to Saudi Arabia to begin with, but maybe that's why. Maybe don't go over there.
Is that why he was shaking hands with imaginary friends? You think that was early COVID?
That's early. It's late something is what it is. It's not early anything. That's late something.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
I can't follow this shit, man. President's got it's like they're begging you to fucking follow it. Like president's got it. Let's take it serious now.
Oh, if it offs him, that's
Oh my god! Then it's the new polio. That what killed FDR? Polio?
There was just a case of polio in New York this week.
Oh yeah, apparently Rockland County is full of like fucking mutants who are like anti like everything.
Makes sense, yeah.
Where is Rockland County? That upstate New York?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's not too far. We're not
polio. Who the fuck gets polio?
Yeah, you really gotta be embarrassed if you get polio.
That's yeah. Oh yeah, you're getting closed fucking casket. Polio.
Closed casket. I send him into space, please.
Yeah.
I want to see on the next picture from the telescope up there. I want to see a fucking polio patient floating around like fucking the bad guys in Superman 2.
Yeah, right. The fucking the flat whatever glass.
Yeah. Get him out of here. Send him up
Imagine,
now. Don't let him die. Just send him up there. But like, no, you're an idiot. Like, don't do this.
imagine the healthcare workers. Like, you're not even like when you're like, doctor and you're doing your residency and you're learning about all this shit. Like COVID, they learned kind of on the fly just because it was new. But you learn about all these different like diseases and how to treat them and shit. Do you even cover polio anymore?
But even with like COVID, it's like a known kind of like virus. It's just
coronavirus. Yeah.
But no, I don't. I think you probably read about it at some point in school. You had to know the history of it. I'm sure there's history of medical care or something. I'm sure they know, but it's not. A lot of people are going back into the books to check out what's going on. If polio is coming back.
Now, is it this guy? I don't know if it's a guy or gal. I haven't really researched it, but is it their parents' fault? Because aren't you supposed to get treated for polio when you're like real young?
I guess it's the parents' fault. Yeah, it's like I'm not getting a polio shot tomorrow because it's due. I think it's something you get when you're a kid. Yeah, it's definitely the parents' fault.
So before you're baptized, you're vaxxed against polio.
Yeah, this person was just baptized, and that was it. I'm not good at it.
That was it. He got the baptism. He skipped the polio vax. Yeah, it's odd. Don't you have to get like a polio vax to go to public school?
I don't know. There's all like the religious exemptions, right? I mean, isn't that like how people got away with it? I don't know.
Maybe this is a religious school guy. Yeah,
and there's all. I would assume some of this controversy is. You have to be vaccinated to go to some of these schools, but I wonder if that's like a new thing. I wonder if in the 80s it mattered. I have no idea. I don't know if people were checking up in the 80s to be sure everybody was vaccinated.
Yeah, probably not. It doesn't sound like something. That might be new.
Yeah, you're right. That doesn't sound very 80s. They threw a little caution to the wind back then.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little kid, obviously, when I went to public schools, but like I don't remember. Yeah. I don't remember the day like my mother had to bring my vax records in to the principal's office.
It's possible that was all done, beforehand.
Yeah.
So I do want to follow up with you, something we talked about last week.
Yeah.
We had a nice conversation about hippies and how our generation kind of fights back against kind of norms and stuff like that.
Yep.
I was thinking about it. Well, my question is this: do you think you could have been a hippie?
No, because I could never get into the whole like being dirty.
Yeah.
Like I would support the hippies from afar, but like I'd be smoking pot on my couch, which I mean I do that now. So like I don't probably not.
You need to have like your.
But I'd be closer. Yeah. I'd be closer to a hippie than I would be, a Nixon supporter. But
you'd be surprised.
But no, I don't think I'd be a hippie. And plus, I'm not like, what am I doing? I'm not going marching anywhere. Like,
that's fair. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing I was thinking of. Like, that generation was a little more organized, a little more sense of community. I think our generation has an organization when it comes to this kind of stuff, and sense of community went away in the '80s when it became like every man for himself. So I think
oh no, the hippies were like activists. Like
yeah.
Millennials aren't activists. Millennials have kind of just gone against their parents in terms of like, we're not going to go to church every Sunday, and we're going to have the balls to like vote differently than you.
Yeah,
I think, but like it's very like quiet. If anything, I feel like millennials like are kind of caught in the middle. Like everyone talks about, civil war, right? It's gonna be a civil war. Like there's like a 55 and older clan that obviously thinks one way, and then you have like, I don't know, 22 and under, like 25 and under, like college age around there, who like they want to make an issue out of everything. Mr. Potato Head and all this. And then there's like the millennials our age who are just like, hey, we respect your freedom of speech, but we'd really love it if you'd consider shutting the fuck up like for 2 seconds and just stop being fucking bitches. Like everyone on both sides. I think millennials are kind of caught in the middle of the Civil War. I think the average like 35-year-old to 40-year-old like, yeah, you have your political beliefs, but it's not like you don't let it define you. It's not your identity.
No,
And
Jesus, no.
nowadays, it's like the older and the really young. It's like that's who they are. It's in their Twitter bios. You fucking
Yeah. Like how you're known. Everything is how you vote, and who you're for, and who you're
right.
behind.
If anything, I'll give
Yeah.
millennials fours. We're a bunch of apathetic fucking assholes, and that's the way I like it.
Right, I could care less. I mean, I do care, but it's not right. It doesn't define me. It just doesn't. That's
Right.
the other thing. Like, it's not my personality type. It's not me.
We opened up with Yankee baseball for 20 minutes. Like, that's what matters. And now this is secondary. This is why it's the second part of the show.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's not even talking about it. We're just talking about how bullshit it is. We're talking about how annoyed we are that we have to deal with this fucking shit. Well, yeah. The people who are like, oh, civil war is imminent. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, nobody's going to organize two armies on both sides. What are you going to do? You're going to just go into, like, just going to go into the registered voter list and, like, go look and see who's Democrat and start shooting them up or vice versa? Like, is that what you're going to do? Like, we're going to line up in the streets and the grays and the blues again? We're doing this again? Come on.
It doesn't really make any sense. I don't understand when people talk about that. Like how?
No, it's unless the president organizes the army to start firing on civilians, it's really, I don't understand how that's going to go down. And
are we gonna have to be like the Sneetches, the Dr. Seuss book, this with the stars and the non-stars? Like, if you wear a star, you're part of this team. No stars, you're part of the other team.
They'll probably brand you. I don't know. They'll probably put something on your arm, some numbers or something. It's happened before. They let you know. Wouldn't be the first time.
1939.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time somebody took, like, nah, you know what? And that was not a civil war. All right, that was the massacre.
This is uncivil. It was very uncivil.
Very uncivil. Yeah. Until we showed up.
Yeah. I don't know. People like root for it. I feel like, and I don't know. I don't even know exactly what they're rooting for.
Chaos.
Like civil war. No, it's going to keep being you around the Thanksgiving table arguing with your shithead parents and your shithead kids. It's going to keep being that. That's all it's going to be.
Civil war over a tweet. Just shut down the internet. No more civil war talk. All right. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Put the internet down. I was really like, what am I going to do? I got actually to get out of my fucking chair and go someplace? Not going to happen.
Oh, man. I was thinking about that. I was watching episode 2 of the Jeter doc before we started recording. And they had footage of in like 96 when they were in the World Series, and the streets were just flooded after, I don't know if it was after Game 5 or Game 6, or it was like it could have been any time, like during the playoff run. The streets were just flooded, and it was just Yankee fans, and they're going nuts, like after a win.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's gone. That's like Twitter now. That's where people go. There's no more like in the streets or anything. Like it's just
that's not true. People flock to the streets when big wins happen.
You mean like the Knicks fans on opening night?
that was the highlight. That was the highlight of the season. They knew that was the peak. But like I don't know, you see shit like that.
I don't know. I think it's different now. Like this footage was awesome. It was like, holy shit. It's
definitely different. But
bars packed. Can't watch it anymore.
It does happen. Yeah. Oh, geez.
The World Series is going to be on. The World Series is going to be on YouTube TV.
And we can all sit in the bar and crowd around your phone to watch
it. Right. Yeah.
But I feel like people do go to the streets though. I
think.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think that's a lost. I think it's a little bit lost because a lot of people opt to just stay in and not go out and do it. But I think there's always people like that too.
Because I just meant like from a camaraderie standpoint, that was how you celebrated a win. Now you can just go on Twitter and it's like people call like the old corny like joke is like Twitter's like the greatest sports bar in the world now. You know what I mean? Because everyone,
it's not.
It's not.
That's a lousy sports bar. That is Buffalo Wild Wings at its absolute lowest point right there. the lowest common denominator.
Buffalo Wild Wings in the middle of a civil war. That's Twitter.
Yeah, Buffalo. And there's always diarrhea. The wings always hit your stomach the wrong way.
Yeah.
The beer's warm. Yeah, it's hell. It's not a good sports bar. It's not a sports bar any part of.
Yeah. So
you could have you could have like an argument in a sports bar about Joe DiMaggio versus Ted Williams or whatever. You can't do that on Twitter. And the argument will happen, but it's not any good.
Yeah, it'll go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I guess the iPhone is kind of killed. I guess you could still argue like the subjective argument, subjective debates, but the iPhone is kind of ruined.
Well, there's an answer for everything. Yeah, you can always back yourself up. No
anything factual.
Yeah, you can always find something to support your argument, right? You're not always going to find something that's unbiased. You're going to look for the stuff that supports you. So
yeah.
If you're, the DiMaggio guy, you're going to find the stuff that shows that DiMaggio's a better player, championships, and he had more home runs. He had more home runs than Ted Williams, right?
No, I think Ted Williams had more home runs. 56 game hitting streak. Yeah. Center field, more prevalent position.
Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe is right up there. Did you see who's playing Joe D in the
I didn't.
Monroe movie?
No, I've been.
You'll like this casting.
I've been concentrating more on her, but yeah, who's?
Oh yeah, we'll get to her. Bobby Cannavale.
I see. I should have guessed it. Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
When I heard that, I was like, of course, yeah. That's exactly right.
Great. Yeah, he's gonna be great. But he's gonna be like a little bit older. He's got to be a little bit stiff.
Yeah, he's like perfect age. I think he's like around.
Is he too cool?
Late 40s. Is
he too cool to be Joe D?
Well, because Joe D was a little bit of a stiff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no, only because like DiMaggio was. I mean, DiMaggio was a Yankee, so it's like
he's magnetic. He's got qualities to him.
I mean, he landed Marilyn Monroe, so that makes him cool right off the rip.
Right, but then he got that immediately like stiffened up, like ass tightened up, and she's like the most popular woman in the country, and anybody looked at her, he like thought it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, he wanted a housewife, and he married like the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And that marriage did not last. That was like 2 years, right?
I mean, he lasted until he died. He brought roses to her grave every week.
Wonder if he'll talk shit about the Kennedys in the movie. How deep are they going to go?
Oof. It's apparently it's pretty unforgiving.
The portrayal of her, like it's. I mean, does it have like an NC-17 rating?
Yeah, it does. You know why? Well, it was rumored why.
I assumed it was like sex scenes.
Yeah, but it was apparently the director, I think, has denied it. But apparently it was that there's a oral sex scene during the period.
Oh, I did hear that. Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, I think it's in the book or something. There's a book about her and it's in it, but I don't think that's.
Wait, she's receiving.
I would assume, yeah. I would assume that's what's going on. Yeah.
There's no way that Joe D was doing that. It had to be Arthur Miller.
Yeah, he wouldn't even fuck his wife after she played tennis. As entourage for the crowd. Ari Gold's fine.
Did she have a third husband too?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume like it looked like just from the trailers, it was like a teaser, short little thing. It looked like it was kind of like the struggle to like be Marilyn Monroe. You know what I mean? Like to actually become this larger than life thing, and the struggle to like go back and forth. Norma Jean, Marilyn, and then just tearing you apart from the inside out.
Is that a Netflix job?
It is a Netflix job, yeah.
Oh, so it's coming out. It's gonna hit right. To watch it right on the couch.
Yeah, I think it's September, yeah. Yeah, I can't cancel that. I can't wait to cancel Netflix, but I just can't. I got to watch that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's always gonna be something.
Not really. Right now, there's nothing.
I watched Bill Burr's latest special.
Oh, the comedy stuff, yeah.
Got some good comedy stuff, but yeah, I know Netflix is never. It's all right.
Stranger Things. You're a big Stranger Things guy.
I'm not a Stranger Things guy. I see like the clip every once in a while of the kid who's in it, and it bothers me.
All right.
The main kid.
All right. There's 4 main kids.
Is there 4 main kids? They had it on in my barbershop one time.
You had it on in the barbershop?
Yeah. I don't know. It's
You're afraid to ask
Stranger Things.
You're afraid to ask people if they have Amazon Prime? People are watching Netflix in barbershops?
They fire up the Netflix, man. And from what I saw, it just wasn't for me. A little too freaky deaky science fiction.
Yeah. Winona Ryder. Right?
Oh, Winona. Yeah, that's right. Winona Ryder is in it.
Yep. Rudy was in the 2nd season, I think.
Oh, have you seen it? Have you watched it?
I watched the first 2 seasons, yeah.
And then you just bowed out?
That's had enough.
Yeah, that's how I feel like I'm going to be with shows now. Just quit.
Yeah. 1 season was good, like science fiction. It was cool. 2nd season kind of lost me a little bit. I was like, all right, that's it for me. And I've heard it's gotten good in the next couple seasons, so I'm not going back. It's done that well.
Stranger Things?
Yeah. I'm not going to go back to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know how many there are. I'm not going back. I don't think. I still got to catch up on the Jeter thing. I got to catch up on the old man. I got a lot to do. Saul, I'm locked into Saul now until the end. That's like my Monday nights. I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Can't miss it. So
did you watch Chernobyl?
Oh, I love Chernobyl.
I only did the first episode, so I just watched it.
It was I watched it. I made the mistake. I watched it while I was dealing with pneumonia, and of course, people just getting sicker and sicker,
dying. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'm like in my stupid state. I'm like, oh, is there a nuclear site nearby? Did I gulp up something I shouldn't have gulped up? Like, what's going on?
I got Chernobyl. Fuck.
I got Chernobyl. Yeah.
First case since '86.
Yeah, fucking polio and nuclear, whatever, poison.
Everything's making a comeback.
I liked it though. It was good.
Yeah, I watched 1 episode. I gotta go. It's quick. It's like 5 episodes, right?
Yeah, it's only miniseries. Yeah, I like the mini. I am a fan of the miniseries too. I'm a movie guy, but the miniseries are better than the shows you gotta walk into for years.
Yeah. Oh. How about, have you ever seen Deliverance?
No, I have not.
So this is a Netflix job right here. It was it was a tough week this week. Like first week without baseball, I went to bed like early Monday after Saul. Tuesday, I watched like an inning of the All-Star game. I was out. Wednesday, people think it's easy rooting for a team that's a million games over 500. It's not, takes a lot out of you that first time.
Yeah.
So last night
you're like Benintendi when they played Toronto.
Right, exactly. I just needed a couple of days to myself, catch some Z's. So last night it was like around 7:00, and it's like one of the weirdest sports nights of the year, probably. That Wednesday, there's just nothing.
Awful last night. Awful.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do with the remote. I really did. I put the TV on and like the ESPYs was on. I'm not watching that show.
No. So I went on to Comcast and the algorithm they have, and now they have this little section where it's like 500 movies for you based on like other shit you've watched. And it's most of it. It's like stuff I've already seen. It's like Goodfellas is probably in the algorithm.
Yeah, Goodfellas, Rounders, Scarface, Casino.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's like a lot of shit I've already seen.
Yeah.
And I stumbled on Deliverance, and it was always like this movie like I've heard. I know the name Deliverance,
Yeah.
but I couldn't tell you one thing about it. So I just click on it by chance. 1972. And like the first two actors I see batting 1-2 are Burt Reynolds and John Voight.
Right.
So I'm like, all right. And I think Ned Beatty was the third guy, the father from Rudy.
Yeah.
So it's like three pretty heavy hitters right out of the gate.
Ned Beatty's the father in Rudy?
Yeah, Ned Beatty is Rudy's father. He walks in through the tunnel, I think it's Ned Beatty.
I think it's somebody else.
Are you thinking of Warren Beatty?
No, I know. I know who Warren Beatty. Oh, yeah, it is Ned Beatty. Why I think
this is the greatest sight these eyes have ever seen.
Yeah, you know what? I know who Ned Beatty is, but I know who the father is in Rudy, but I never put two and two together. So fucking.
Oh, that's what when I hear Ned Beatty or when I see his face, I think Father Rudy. It's the first thing I think of.
Yeah, I guess that should be the first thing I think of, but I don't know what. It's crazy. I don't know what I think of.
Yeah, like on his Wikipedia page, he's appeared in more than 160 films, and the films that they list off, like what he's known for, it's Deliverance.
Yeah.
All the President's Men, Network, Superman, Back to School.
Oh, yeah, he's in Superman. That's right.
Yeah, Back to School, Rudy, Shooter, which I think that's a Wahlberg movie, and Toy Story 3.
Oh man.
So that's
I can't believe that. But yeah, that's unbelievable. Yeah.
Married 4 times, 8 children. Spread the ball around, Ned. This apparently was his first movie, Deliverance.
Wow.
So his debut. It's a young. I mean, all these guys are relative. Ned Beatty actually passed away very recently. I think it was 2001. It's his natural causes. All right, so he died like about a year ago. But it's a young Burt Reynolds, like real young Burt Reynolds, like in his 30s, like 36. How old I am now? Let me see how many films he had under his belt. Burt Reynolds. He was pretty. His first movie was in '58, so he had already gotten around a little bit. Burt Reynolds. A lot of TV, it looks like. So Burt Reynolds in a Twilight Zone episode? Jesus, I don't remember that. But anyways.
There's a lot of people in Twilight. There's a Robert Duvall Twilight Zone episode. There's a lot of weird. If you go into one of those marathons and watch 3 or 4 in a row, you're gonna catch something that you're like, what? Like that guy's in it?
Oh yeah. Obviously Shatner's like the most famous one, but yeah. He was in one that was an hour long. Those were I think those were like different from the half-hour ones.
Oh, okay, all right.
But Burt Reynolds was pretty ripped in 1972. I gotta say, he was.
Burt Reynolds has some very suggestive posters, by the way.
Does he have like an underwear one or something?
I don't think there's underwear. I think it's just like a football jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. I know. All right. Just for the crowd, I guess.
He made chest hair cool, Burt Reynolds.
No, it was the '70s, man. Of course, it was cool.
But he's a big part of that.
Yeah, him and like Tom Selleck.
Selleck was big. Like Burt Reynolds is so cool that in this movie, like John Voight takes a back seat, and his character is like a little bit of like reserved because Burt Reynolds has to have the ball in his hand, basically.
Yeah.
Voight has to play off the ball because he has no choice. They have to make Burt Reynolds the alpha in this movie. Which is saying a lot because, like, John Voight at that time, Midnight Cowboy, John Voight's a tall, dark, good-looking man, too, but it's like, it's Burt Reynolds, so it's not even, like, a question whose team it is. So, kind of a fucked up movie.
It's like, is it a horror movie or is it a thriller?
More thriller than horror. There's not really like a bad guy per se, or I mean, there's a couple bad guys in it, but it's like 4 city guys, like they're salesmen, I think, or something from Atlanta, and they're on kind of like like one of those wilderness trips. I don't know, they're canoeing and shit,
Okay.
and they end up in a canoe, and they kind of get thrown like in the middle of nowhere. And they deal with like a couple mountain men, I guess you can call them. And I mean, I don't want to give like too much away, but there's I don't want to call it an iconic scene.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
It's very. All right. See, I had no idea. All I did was read the synopsis of this movie, and I saw the guys that were in it, and it was like 4 guys get challenged by mountain men and Mother Nature, or whatever, because they end up like dealing with like the tides and the river, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
A lot of shit goes down, but yeah, there's a scene where Ned Beatty gets, we'll say, taken advantage of.
Yeah, it's like
by another man in the woods.
The Pulp Fiction-esque.
Yes, it probably was. Yeah, that's Pulp Fiction. I actually did read, because I read about this scene because I was like so fucked up. I had to go back and read about it. Like they said, like Pulp Fiction kind of, and what was another movie too that kind of ripped it off, because it was like a Southern hick in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Gamp or whatever, the cop. Was he a cop? I don't know what he was. In Pulp Fiction. Zed, yeah. Why am I picturing a cop?
There you go. There's the poster.
Oh. Well, it's The Longest Yard,
He loved being Burt Reynolds. There's no doubt about it. He loved being Burt Reynolds.
Loved it.
Yeah,
leaned
there's
into
nothing
it.
better.
Certainly leaned into it.
Yeah.
There
you go. Chest hair. Yep. Made it cool.
Definitely made it cool. It was an okay movie, though.
It was okay. Not highly recommended. Just okay.
I would recommend. I think it's worth a watch. I mean, it's early Burt Reynolds, early Jon Voight. Because Jon Voight's one of those guys. Like Burt Reynolds is obviously an icon.
Yes.
But Voight is one of those guys too that Jon Voight. We've probably had this exact conversation before, but you're like, what have I seen Jon Voight in? Like he's in Mission Impossible. Obviously, if you're a Ray Donovan fan, you've seen that. I remember like Anaconda from the 90s. He was the bad guy. That's how good of a bad guy Jon Voight is.
Yeah.
Movie with a snake killing people, and Jon Voight's the bad guy. Midnight Cowboy is probably like his most famous role. Yeah. But it's like early Voight. Like how many early Voight movies have you seen?
Just Midnight Cowboy.
Like when you picture Voight, you think of him as like the older guy, at least minimum 50 to 60 years old. You think of Voight.
Yeah.
To see a young Jon Voight is like, oh, this guy really like had some acting chops. Like he's good. Yeah,
to see him younger when you know him from the 90s and on, it's a little bit shocking. It's almost hard to believe that Midnight Cowboy Voight is the same Voight that we grew up with.
Yeah. Yeah, in this movie, he plays like he has a Southern accent. He plays like a dude from Georgia. So yeah, it's like a different guy. I mean, that's like wow, that's Angelina Jolie's dad.
Yeah.
He was in a movie.
He was in a TV movie about Chernobyl.
Voight was?
Yeah. He's right. His episode of Seinfeld, like for a second. Varsity Blues.
Right, but Varsity Blues, of course. But by that point in the 90s, he's in his 50s at least.
Yeah, there's really not much, man. Like, Medicare was 69, and he works for the 70s, but it's nothing like the Odessa File. I think that's kind of
I'm looking at his filmography right now. I wonder, like, did he make a comeback in the 90s? Was it like a resurgence?
It's very possible. I feel like that happened to a lot of actors in the 80s. Look, yeah, 82, 83, 85, 86. He only had 4 movies in the 80s.
Yeah.
But I feel like he wasn't the only guy. I mean, like you just talk about Pulp Fiction. Obviously, Travolta's pretty famous for like kind of doing some shit movies for a while. Um,
Yeah.
making his comeback. I think there's a lot of people, and now just like there's so much content out there, all these people can work. It's like, um, it's only taken off since the '90s, since network TV and then HBO, and now with streaming, like it's just everything's gotten, you know, it's kind of.
It's been watered down. Everybody's working, and that's why you get a lot of shit out there.
But you got a lot of good actors doing things that are a little bit lesser than they, should be, a little below them. But you're also getting a lot of good shows that you would not expect. There's a lot of gems out there that we don't really have time for. You know what I mean? That's just, but good actors are doing it's good content. That's just maybe we hadn't thought of before.
When you say like, you mean like A-list actors doing television shows? You mean?
I mean, well, look, so right now on Netflix, there's like $1 billion movie that has Ryan Gosling and Captain America in it, and it's dog shit from what I understand. I have no interest in watching it.
Is that the one with Billy Bob Thornton as the bad guy?
I have no idea.
I saw an ad for a Ryan Gosling movie where he's like the good guy and Billy Bob Thornton's the bad guy.
No, this is him versus Captain America.
Okay.
And
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. And it looks whatever. It's a lot of shooting, whatever. It looks just like, a dog shit action. But then on the other hand, you have like, I don't even know what it's on, Hulu or Paramount or whatever. You ever hear this show called The Bear?
No.
It's with one of the brothers from Showtime, Frank and
Showtime.
Yeah, it was on Showtime with Frank Gallagher and
Shameless.
Shameless, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of the brothers from Shameless is on. It's called The Bear, and apparently, it's incredible.
Like is this the one that takes place in Chicago? I mean, it.
Yeah,
is this the one where he's like the cook? He's a
cook. I think so. Yeah. Like there's that, and like the Apple TV, like the Severance show is supposed to be great. Like there's a lot of like hidden gems out there. You don't know where to go to get them because they're like, who has time for all this shit? But it gets watered down, but you have the opportunity for shows like that.
We also have these shows. They release all the episodes at once, which makes it's overwhelming.
Yeah. But we even said though, maybe it's best like that. It's like that because we even said like how hard it is to just like lock into a show, and that's the one. If you really like the show, maybe that's when it's released all the episodes at once, and you can kind of bang them out in your own time. Maybe that's the best. It's just so weird because like with Sopranos when it came out, you were talking about it on Monday morning with everybody, and then you watched it again that week. It was on like 11 o'clock, and it was just a topic conversation. Like, oh my god, like, they shot Christopher. Like, oh my god, it was always this or that thing was coming up. It was just viewed differently. Here, it gets released, and then whoever finishes first starts talking about it.
Yeah.
And and then eventually you finish watching it, and it's like, who do I talk to about it? Like, where do I go? There's no community around the show anymore. So it's a different way of viewing things.
Do you think I feel like we have this discussion every like I remember when Sopranos went off the air, it was like this is the last show that's going to be appointment television. But we have had shows since then, like for Game of Thrones fans,
Game of Thrones is huge. Breaking Bad.
Mad Men, like I remember the finale being huge of that.
Yep. Yeah, last season too. Yeah.
Is this Joe Buck last night at the ESPYs? He got hair plugs.
Oh, he's addicted to the hair plugs.
Hopefully his vocal cords are okay.
Yeah.
Man. Just to show up with like, I don't want to talk about Joe Buck. Midnight Cowboy, Joe Buck. I've lost my train of thought 'cause this asshole popped on my television.
You ever hear this show? It's brand new, called 100 Places to Party Before You Die.
No.
I only saw like a little bit of the first one. Was in Denver. I just threw it on. I think it's the second one, and they're playing Highline.
Oh. It's like one of those like travel shows?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. That's the pilot you're saying is in
Denver.
Yeah, I could party in Denver.
They got stoned, yeah.
I would hope so. What the hell are you doing in Denver? You're not going to the Broncos game.
Well, he could and get stolen.
He could. Appointment television. That's what I was talking about.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. Like we just rattled off a few. I think Saul has kind of reached that.
Yeah.
In the last season, and I feel like we have this discussion every few years when a show is coming to a close. Like, is this the last show that's going to be appointment television? But I mean, it is worth the question. I don't think it is because I think there's always going to be something that comes along on one of these networks, HBO, Showtime, AMC, down the line. But it is worth asking the question.
And there's always going to be the ones that we don't get into. Like, I don't know, what's that sci-fi one on HBO? Is that still very popular? Westworld? Like, is that really popular?
That's a show I quit. It's exhilarating when you quit a show. The first season was awesome. I liked it. Second season, it was just like I just didn't like it, and I'm like, I'm done. I called my shot as soon as I watched the finale. I wasn't mad. I'm just like, I'm just done.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi stuff. Like, I like sci-fi in doses, but I can't take it like over an extended period of time. Like doing all the Star Wars and people knowing like all the planets. People know, like, people so ingrained in the science of whatever, I don't know if you want to call it science, but like there's all the make-believe shit that then like kind of buying into it and saying, this is how it should be. It's how the Force works. And this is whatever.
Yes.
Like, all right, I gotta watch Return of the Jedi or something, I guess, but I really don't care how it all works.
I mean, the thing with a science fiction show too is just the longer it goes on. I mean, it's eventually it has to get ridiculous. It's just there's no other way out. It's going to get crazy.
Yeah, it gets ridiculous and has to explain itself over and over again. And how come what they're doing makes sense in that world?
Right.
Just give me like a one and done, like this one and done sci-fi. That's it.
Yeah, and it just got a little too crazy for me, and that was it.
Yeah,
it was good. It wasn't bad though. Like I got into it. It just went off the rails a little bit for me. And I could see it was going to get crazier, and I was just like, I'm not doing it.
It's a lot to keep track of, man. They're living in a computer simulation. Like Ed Harris is there, and he knows what's going on. Then all of a sudden, like all these other
and then it's like you got to start asking yourself like who's human and who's a robot. Oh, maybe that's a robot. No, it's a human. It's like I don't want to do fucking math and shit. Like I don't want to have to just like be questioning is this a dream or is this person real? It's just like, all right, enough. It should be a miniseries. Would have been perfect.
Yeah, exactly. But people love their sci-fi. People love to like jump into those worlds and know like just like we like to analyze and break down episodes of Sopranos. These fans like to analyze and break down the science fiction aspects of things and make sense of it that way.
I've put off watching Nolan's most recent movie, Tenet, because it's like a 3-hour.
No, don't do it, man. I hated that movie.
Okay, good.
I watched it for like half an hour. I was like, what the fuck is this? It doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm out. None of this makes sense.
You know what really scared me about that movie more than anything is they asked Tarantino about it, and he was just like, I have no idea. I got to go back and watch it again. And that's like a brilliant filmmaker, like who couldn't even form an opinion on it. He was like, I have no idea. And I was like, if he doesn't get it, how the fuck am I going to sit there and come up with a conclusion of what's going on?
It's crazy because I love movies, man. And I love kind of waiting them out, and I love a slow burn. But this, again, because it's science fiction, and there's no, I don't need to be spoon-fed shit, but I mean, it also has to make sense. And maybe it does make sense. Maybe people do love it. I have no idea. But I watched it, and at one point, I forget, there's a movie where, was it Tony's talking about Seven? And he's like, why the fuck do I even care about this? That's exactly how I felt about this movie. I was like, why the fuck do I even care for the killing or whatever? Like,
it was long, right? It was long too.
I didn't make it very far, and I was like, I'm not wasting my time on this. I think that's exactly what it said.
Right. No, and Nolan has like a cult. He has a cult following. Nolan.
I got no problem with. I like no problem with Nolan. He's allowed to make movies I don't like.
Right, but yeah, that's what I'm saying though. You're like, there's people who will just swear by his every move. Like, no, let me tell you why Tenet was brilliant.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't even like Interstellar when we did that movie. I couldn't stand that movie.
I liked Interstellar.
It was too much for me. Like Inception to me is brilliant, and then he got a little too nuts. Inception's a great movie. I love Inception. As much as I love Inception, I did not like Interstellar.
Wow. Oh man.
Fucking black holes and shit. Ugh.
You were going to hate Tenet.
Yeah. Yes. That was.
You gotta watch it.
It's on my DVR. It's been on my DVR for like 2 years, and every time I go to it, I'm just like, 158 minutes.
I just want to see how long you last.
Who's the main character? Is that Michael B. Jordan?
No, it's Denzel's son, John David Washington.
Okay.
And Robert Pattinson.
Oh, Pattinson's in it.
Yeah. Another reason to dislike it.
Maybe I'll start it after the show tonight.
That's perfect. You want to? Yeah, you're gonna be like locked in from like the second you put it on, because like the beginning part kind of engaging, but then see how long after that you last, because like
time travel and shit, right?
I don't know, maybe.
Some dimensions and shit going on. There's a fifth, there's a seventh dimension.
I was angry.
There's the Beyond section.
I don't shut movies off. I'll pass out in a movie, but I don't shut movies off though.
No, it's 2 hours usually. I mean, a bad movie's only 2 hours.
This one I showed off. I can't think. I've never walked out of a theater.
No.
There's no movies. There's no movie that I really hate. Like, there's movies I don't like that I don't want to watch again. But there's no movies that I hate. This one came close.
I don't know. It's hard to really like hate a movie, because it's like, what is there to hate? It's 2 hours of your life. You didn't like it. It's not like someone forcing you to watch it on a weekly basis.
And I do tend to think like there's a million people working this movie. Like, it's not just these douchebag actors and the director who fucked it up and a writer who's an idiot. It's there's guys doing the camera and the lights and the sound and the gaffers and the production assistants and unpaid interns and shit like that are like there for a reason. And some people are getting paid. Some people are not getting paid and they want to get into the business. It's like, I respect those people a lot. There's the names at the end of the credits. I mean, those people all did a lot of hard work to get that movie made. But I tend to think of it like that. Like, well, they tried, But this is like a $320 million movie. It's like, fuck out of here, Out of here, man. But so I liked Interstellar though, because I kind of have, again, that to me that was like a science fiction. It kind of took some science of space and tried to make it like, not relatable, but try to make it like, if we could do these things, this is how maybe it would look. Like, it was, you went to like another dimension, went to another place, and like time moved differently there. So you had to hurry back, and like.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
If the world was like ending and there was like limited resources and shit, do you think it would look as civilized as it did in Interstellar? Like at the beginning, when there's like the Yankees are playing or whatever, and it's just like everyone's going about their. You want to talk about Civil War? Then we're talking about a war. There's no way if there was limited resources and shit and the world was ending or whatever. Is it like kind of like the climate? Is it like a climate change kind of sort of deal?
And I don't remember. I don't remember the beginning, to be honest with you. I remember him like something was happening in the beginning. He got into the car and sped off. I don't remember what was happening. Was
Yeah.
it? Was that what it is? There was a drain on society and shit.
Yeah, there was limited resources. Like all the crops were dying and shit. And I don't know. He needed to go to a black hole to fix everything.
But then he got stuck there, right? And everything worked out. He came back and like his daughter was 90 or something, right?
Yeah, and he like goes to her bedside and she's like dying, and it's yeah, I didn't like it.
Wait, but he went though, and it still worked out, so he didn't have to go.
No, like
Or
he
he kind
came he came back and like he didn't age, but
of. How did things work out on Earth? How come the world didn't end when he was in that black hole?
because there was some sort of like time travel sort of thing.
Oh, it's right. He went back to the closet or something, right?
He went back and like there was a part in the beginning of the movie where he's talking to her in a room and there's something on her bookshelf that's like moving. That's
Yeah, it's
really
him.
that's really him.
Yeah,
There's the
yeah.
twist. Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. Inception was great. There you
Inception's
go.
Inception's one of my favorite movies. The past 22 years.
Yeah, maybe a movie of the decade.
Yeah.
I also watched. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it's like that. Like trying to think, like post 2001, like last 20 years. Like, There Will Be Blood. I think that's probably this past couple of decades, right?
Yeah, There Will Be Blood. That was like '07 maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Inception's definitely up there. Though.
No Country. That's probably like the best.
No Country's
That
excellent. Movie.
that might
Yeah.
be the best one of the last 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, some good ones. Lady in the Water was.
Was,
What was
did you
that
ever,
one?
I don't know. I
Shape
didn't
of
see that one.
Water.
Oh yeah, Shape of Water. Yeah. Did you see Parasite?
No, never watched
Paras-
Parasite.
Parasite's excellent.
Is that Netflix?
I don't. No, I don't think it was out on Netflix. No,
Okay, it was a movie theater.
I think so.
Yeah, I did not see Parasite. Was that a Best Picture winner?
Yes. Yep. It won Best Picture. I think the year The Irishman came out.
Oh, okay. Did you watch Coda? Was that the reigning champ?
I did not see Coda yet. No, that's Apple TV. I think.
Oh, okay. I didn't see Coda.
I think the Scorsese movie comes out on Apple next year. Now I think they switched it to the beginning of 2023. So,
The one with Leo?
yeah, Leo's in it. Bobby's in it.
Cannavale? Oh, or De Niro?
Yeah. Oh, Tenenbaums is 2001. That's a great.
Tenenbaums is good.
That feels like that feels like a 90s movie though. It's 01.
Yes, it does. Wes Anderson, yeah. What about where do you rank like Silver Linings? Is that a notch? Is that more of like a rom-com or?
No, I like Silver Linings a lot. I don't know if it's one of the best. I don't think it's a rom com exactly because it's like a
Too much of a rom-com element to it, even though it's a serious movie.
You think so? I don't know. It's a serious look at mental health and stuff, which is kind of important for the times that we're in.
That's when I realized like Cooper could really act. Was that movie?
Yeah.
He wasn't just
For sure.
like the shithead in Wedding Crashers, like the
Both of them.
pretty
Both of them.
boy from
Jennifer Lawrence too. I mean,
yeah, yep.
oh, and Glorious Bastards is 09. Can't think about that.
Yeah, I like Inglourious Bastards. The only thing is I would put I like Django a little more. And Hollywood. Kill Bill is technically 2000s too. I would probably put all those.
I don't know. I think that's a tough one. That's a really tough one. Just pick which one of those, the Tarantino ones from
It's
2000.
it's very subjective. Well,
And
I'll give you a movie.
I love Hollywood, but I think I have to go with Glorious Bastards. I think
Bastards over Hollywood.
and Django, yeah. That's such a good. That's such a.
Of those three movies, I'll leave Kill Bill out of it because I have like a special place for Kill Bill.
Sure.
Of those three movies, like which one when it's on do I leave it on? It's usually Django.
Oh, I could put on Bastards any scene from the first scene. I'm locked in. Like
I'd have to go back and watch Bastards because of those three, I've probably seen Bastards the least amount.
I like it more every time I see it. Like I like it every time I see a movie. I like it more. Christoph Waltz is so good in that movie, and then like the whole bastard stuff.
Yeah, Pitt.
Yeah.
Well, this movie did not take place in the 2000s, but over the weekend I watched Thief.
Oh yeah.
And I watched
there it is.
There was some ads. There's a few ads in there.
It's rough. Okay. Did what we had to do though.
It wasn't. There was few and far between the ads. It wasn't like every 10 minutes. It wasn't like commercial break. It was maybe like 3 ads during the movie, and there wasn't one until like an hour in.
Okay, that's good. And they give you a little relief at the end. They didn't they let it play out at the end. They didn't give you any ads. Good.
Yeah.
What was it on? What service was it on?
Let me see if I can get it here quick. Tubi, maybe? Is that a thing?
Yes.
I'm gonna say it was Tubi.
Okay.
No, I liked it. Definitely. It was Michael Mann's first movie.
I don't know if it was first, but yeah, it's early, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, no, it definitely comes off like a Michael Mann movie.
Yeah, a lot of elements that you saw in Heat.
Yes.
Other movies, yeah.
So yeah, like that little James Caan over the weekend.
Yeah, he was great, right? He's great in that fucking movie.
Yeah, excellent.
All right, let's do the over-unders real quick, then we get into Saul, close it out.
All right.
Okay, so let's start with you. You had your first. This is an order of pick.
Okay.
So you had an over for Detroit. I hope I have the right year here. Yeah, this is. You had the over for Detroit, 78.5.
It's gonna take some.
Detroit needs to win 40 games. They are 38 and 56.
So 78 and 84. 40 and 28. All right, they're gonna have to get hot. Play 12 games over.
This one's not looking good here. Okay. Arizona, the Diamondbacks.
Yes.
Go to the National League. There it is. There's the National League. Arizona's an under. Their number was 66.5. They're 40 and 52. Last place in the NL West.
So they can only win 26 more games. That's gonna be a tough one too.
That's a tough one too.
A lot of games in that division though, so they could stumble.
The Angels, you had over 84.5.
It looked so good in mid-May. They went from 10 games over to 14 games under in a month and a half.
Yep. Manager's gone.
What was that? 84.5?
84.5. Yeah. So they're
done.
39.
That one's done. I'm Xing that one out. God, I've never had a losing record. This could be it.
I think I didn't even look at mine. I think I might be right with Tampa under 89.5. 51-41.
That was gonna be close.
Yep. Back to the NL. Colorado's an over pick.
Mm-hmm.
They're picked over 69.5.
All right, so I
43
need him to get to
50.
70. 27 and so 92. All right, so if they play 15 games under 500 from here, I like that one right now.
You got a shot with Colorado. And Seattle, you have the
I had him under.
Yeah.
That's another one that looked so good a month ago, and they're on
Seattle.
a 14-game winning streak.
Yeah, Seattle.
That one literally
51.
looked like it was in the clubhouse like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the number is 84.5, under 84.5, and they're now 51-42. So yeah, they could get cold again. They could, really cold. So you have
it's bad.
Your best bet right now looks like 2 out of 6.
Yeah, I mean 2 and 4, or 3 and 3 would be a miracle. Tampa, I could still hit.
Yeah.
Colorado looks good, and then Arizona has a tough. I mean, they have to play all those NL West teams. Best case is 3 and 3. 3 and 3 is a miracle.
All right.
3 and 3 is an inside straight.
Yes. All right. My first pick was San Francisco over 85.5. They're 48-43.
They were only 85.5. Okay.
So they're going to be close. Not terrible. Close. Then I had the Cubs under 74.5.
That's a winner.
35-57. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty good then. They stay. Oh, this one's not good. Philly. Philly, I have the over 85.5. They're at 49-43.
That's anybody's game.
It's anybody's. Yeah, it's like
50-50.
Coming down to the wire with a bunch of these.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota.
Under.
I had Minnesota under 80.5. They're 50-44. Cold. They're cold though.
They are probably a loss, but we'll see. I mean, that division sucks.
I still have faith in them. Hang. Oh, this was a bad one. Second best team in the world. I had the Mets under 90.5.
That's a loser.
That's a loser. Yep. They're 58-35. This one's gonna be tough. Toronto, I have over 92.5. Not crazy.
Not impossible.
Not crazy, but not as easy as I thought it was going to be.
They have to win 93. They have to finish 24 games over, and they're only 7 over. Yeah, it'd be tough.
Yeah. Yes. So
they can only lose 20 more games.
Yeah, not good. Maybe they'll keep playing Kansas City.
Maybe
Kansas City will keep coming.
Well, hey, I mean, they have a great home field advantage. Half the team's ball club can't get in the country. So
yeah, if all the losers teams are like that,
I wish we had that type of home field in the Bronx. Like, hey, you and you can't even. Not only can you not play, you can't even come in the dugout. It'd be awesome.
Would be.
I wish we play the Royals next week. I wish Benintendi wouldn't play and Whit Merrifield wouldn't play. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking
come on.
Blue Jays.
Mayor Adams, come on, get it going.
Yeah. Seriously, it'd be awesome if those guys wouldn't show up.
We skipped. We were Pittsburgh fans last year, and on the over-under show, we decided to go with the Nationals.
Yeah,
they are the worst team in the league, 31-63. Pittsburgh, third in the NL Central, 39-54. But a little more exciting. Got O'Neal Cruz, coming shortstop there. He's fun to watch. Has a gun. If you haven't seen O'Neal Cruz highlights, check him out. Guy fires the ball around.
Yeah, looks like a right fielder.
Yeah, he's a right fielder and at shortstop. He throws 1,000 miles an hour. So there you have it. There's your over/under update for the 2022 season. We'll check back with you in September as we start our football season. I don't know. We'll probably be 15-0 on bets by the time we get to the over/under.
Yeah.
For baseball. All right, got anything else sporting before we go into Better Call Saul?
Nope.
All right, so again, another kind of it just took me by surprise. I guess you got to start by talking about the ending because that was hit you at the very end. Hit you that's over. It's over, and it just Kim's. I don't think we've seen the end of Kim. That's not how we leave Kim. I don't think.
Okay.
Her story is not done being told. I don't think.
That was going to be my first question.
That would be really ballsy of them to be like, no, that was it. Now it's Better Call Saul, not Better Call Kim. Kim's gone. Would be ballsy, but we know people love Kim, and I don't think we're done seeing her. I think we see what happens to her going out. They're going to do her character justice. This is a rough way to end it with Saul.
In a good way or a bad way? Like nobody really gets a happy ending in Breaking Bad world. Breaking Bad land. Breaking Bad.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they can do. I guess the next question is if she shows up with Gene Tackett, if she shows up someplace over there.
Yeah, I think that's the question. Is she in the flash forward, real flash forward?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so we finally get a time jump. People were waiting for the time jump.
How did you like how they did that?
Well, how did they do it exactly? Like
it was like they broke up. She walked. I mean, it was like a breakup scene. She walked away, and it was just.
That's it.
He was in the gaudy mansion, hooker.
And we're not going back, right? Like we're in this. We're here now.
Yeah, I don't think there's any need to really. I mean, you don't need to show Saul selling his condo and becoming a dirtbag. I think we know why he's a dirtbag.
Yeah, no, I agree. I hope like we're here to stay. Like there's no reason to go back.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Like I don't know where they go from here. I think it's great that they have 4 episodes to figure it out. I think that's an amazing to not drag as much as like the first half of this the first half of the season. We were like, when are they going to do anything? These 2 episodes, shit's happened. Lalo's gone. Kim's out.
Yeah,
and shit's happened. So they're moving
right. Like 2 big questions were answered: Lalo, and how does Kim get away from Jimmy?
Yeah.
/ Sauce.
And just as a matter of she's not going out there. I mean, she sees like what happened when they pushed it too far. What happened when she like lost her judgment? Didn't tell him about Lalo. Didn't say like let's call it off and so we figure this out.
Yeah.
She saw the toxic outcomes and the worst possible outcomes, and I think maybe lying to a widow whose husband you watched get a bullet through his head.
That was sick.
Might have been that was an all-time lie. An all-time lie.
Didn't even fucking blink. She just went for it.
Yeah.
And you knew she was going for it. You knew she was just whatever she was gonna say was gonna be complete bullshit. Even Saul was like, "Oh shit!"
Whoa.
Yeah.
And all the talk we had last week about Cliff Main's part in the whole second part of the season, like we were expecting this whole Cliff Main storyline. It was just him stammering, being like, in his mind, he's thinking about that car with the hooker.
Yeah.
And he's like, now's not the time. I'm going to go find her sister. See you later.
Yeah.
That's Cliff Main's. That's Cliff Main's.
He had the face of a guy who just looked like he constantly had to go take a shit. He was just like,
he's in a tough position, man. Like,
real tough. You do not want to be that guy. You don't want to be like running point for the widow at one of those things, and like especially a guy had a coke problem allegedly.
But their scam worked because I mean, they had Cliff Main fooled. That was all part of it, and he's heartbroken. This guy's gone, and now he's wondering that I missed the signs. I mean, they tore down worlds, man. They ended Hamlin and Hammond McGill.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's gone. Tore it down. Unbelievable.
Which was kind of not. It wasn't exactly Jimmy's plan, but
that was not the plan. That was not the plan at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of gets off. He probably gets off on it a little bit, though, deep down, that he kind of like ended.
I mean, I think he probably saw what he's capable of, and that's, whereas Kim was like, no, I can't do this anymore. Jim was like, well, now I have no reason to live. I might as well just dig all into this Saul thing. And I know what I'm capable of and how we can get away with. Which is kind of, the only thing that's odd to me is that, like, he was still, as Kim was like out the door, he was still kind of like, not like the innocent Jimmy, but he was still kind of like unsure of himself. Whereas that
he had like an ounce of redeeming qualities in him, like maybe, very like minuscule.
Yeah, like an eyedropper, maybe.
Yeah,
but and then he went all in, but now I think that's why they did it like that, though, because then it's like, okay, this has to be devastating on all accounts. He has to lose everything that he lived for, everything that he was decent for, everything, because he worked hard, to get Kim. He worked hard to become a lawyer. He worked hard, all the scams aside, it was all just kind of part of who he was. It wasn't like Slippin' Jimmy was not a mob lawyer. Slippin' Jimmy was just trying to get by. He was just trying to get through the day. But now he's a shark.
So what about have we seen the last of Gus?
I don't think so.
Oh, you don't think so?
Think so? No, I don't think so. Gus and Mike, obviously, I think they're here until the end. I think.
Okay, so because I thought maybe like that scene in the restaurant was kind of a little bit of a send off for Gus. It was kind of like, like obviously that scene was put in there, like, because it's been like a rumor: is Gus gay? Is he not? Like I always assumed he was because of his reaction to the way his partner was brutally murdered. Like his reaction was more than just like a business partner died. It was like obviously like someone, like life partner. In that scene with the waiter, the sommelier, that guy was actually a waiter. That guy was actually a lawyer in Franklin and Bash.
Yeah, I read that.
Lawyer with Kim, Rhea Seehorn.
Oh, okay, all right.
Who was in that? Yeah, she was a lawyer in that show too. So that scene was put in there, the restaurant scene with the sommelier, to like more than hint at Gus's sexuality, and B, I think just show you like he for a second there, like he entertains the idea of like having a relationship with this guy. But then he realizes he can't bring a civilian into his world. It just doesn't work. Everything Gus does is like very calculated. I mean, that's how he makes it as far as he does. Like he kills all the Salamancas, up until Hector at the end. Like he's just a cold, calculated dude. And the only guy he was in a relationship with was technically his business partner. Like you can't just, he's not a 9-to-5 guy. Can't date the waiter at the bar you hang out. Like, it doesn't work.
Yeah. So you think it's a send off? Like a kind of a nice, not a nice, but like you give him a moment, and then he kind of goes on his way, and we know what his outcome is. Like that's it.
Right. Just showed you like a little, like it showed you like Gus let his hair down a tad.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Because I don't know like how much. Like, it's my next question, and we've been asking this for a while now. Like, how much Gene do we get in these final 4 episodes?
Yeah, it's true too. So Do they have like the Better Call Saul, like all the names of the episodes? Because you see how they're all like point and shoot, fun and games. They're all something and something.
Yeah.
The first half in this, I wonder if one of them is called Jesse and Walt, or like Walt and Jesse.
Oh, you mean like future episodes? You want to see what they're called?
Yeah, I don't know if they have them out there. I mean, that's that giveaway, obviously, to say that.
I could tell you what like the next two are called probably. But what?
Next,
I mean, I'm sure we've talked about this, but
oh,
what like?
see, the next one is called Nippy. There's
All
no
right.
N. There's Nippy, and all it says is a new player gets in the game.
Okay. So we don't know if we're getting Gene yet. I really don't even know. I mean, I have no idea really where they're going because I feel like the main questions have kind of been answered. I mean, they could bring Kim back at some point for something, some sort of shock value if it's in the Gene world, if it's I don't know if she gets. Who knows? Like where she ends up. I guess they could do something, but like, haven't the main questions been answered?
Yeah, I guess, which is why I'm pumped that they actually did that so soon. So it's like, wow, now we don't know what to think. We knew what we were waiting for. Now we don't even know what to think. What's going to happen next?
Right. Lalo and Kim, boom, first two episodes out of the gate.
Yeah,
their fates have basically. I mean, Lalo's in stone, but so now it's like I have no idea where they go. I really have no idea.
Yeah, no, I have no clue.
I'm not even that like. I got to be honest, maybe unpopular. I don't really care all that much about like Walt and Jesse.
No, I don't care either. That's not to me. That's fan service.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be more than a scene or two.
Quick,
I don't know.
In and out.
Yeah, I don't need them. But yeah, I don't know what there would be an aid of if it would be to add to what's already happening in Breaking Bad, or if it's to add to what happens at the end of Breaking Bad. I have no idea what it would be for. Yeah, quick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anything. I don't want like a whole episode dedicated to them by any stretch.
Oh no, unnecessary.
I don't think it would do that. I don't think he would do that either. I think he knows better than to lean into that.
Yeah,
but I think inevitably there had to be some crossover when they started this show. I think there had to be some crossover into the Breaking Bad world where those guys might come back.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wonder like the Mike Spring Saul connection, like how that relationship. I don't even remember what the actual connection was in Breaking Bad and how it all kind of happened. Like
Mike, how Walt ended up in Saul's office, you mean?
Well, I remember how Walt ended up in Saul's office, but how did Mike end up being connected to Walt? Was it through Saul? And like, how did that?
Because Mike had to go cover up Jane's murder, or not murder, her OD.
Oh, that was Mike's first appearance.
That was Mike's intro.
Whoa. Okay. And that was through Saul.
Yes.
Man. Okay. That's a great insight there. I did not remember that at all.
Yeah.
So there you have it. So how does Saul get Mike to be a fixer when needed for something like that? Like, how did they get to that level? Like, does something happen to Jimmy where he needs Mike's assistance, and then how does Fring get involved? Like, because Mike works for Fring. How close is Saul to? Well, he's not. Jimmy, Mike is not. Or Jesus Christ, Saul is not close to Fring at all, right?
Saul, I don't think Saul knows Fring. Fring knows Saul, probably.
Fring knows everybody. I would think to Saul.
Well, at that point, when Mike covers up that OD, aren't they already cooking for Gus? So that's why Mike covers it up, because he needs to keep Pinkman working.
Right. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So Saul doesn't call Gus, then Frink calls, or Saul doesn't call Mike. Gus calls Mike. Or
Yeah.
they might not even tell. Huh.
Yeah, I forget how it goes down exactly. But Mike gets put on the job.
All right. There's some homework to do, I guess.
One more quick thing about Gus.
Yep.
That scene with Eladio,
Yes.
do you think Eladio believes Gus, or he just knows Gus is what's best for business? I don't think Eladio really cares. He looks at the Salamancas. Lalo's dead, so he's of no use, right?
Yep.
Hector's in
Yep.
a wheelchair. He makes fun of the guy like as soon as he leaves about banging the bell.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause he's no use to him at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think Eladio even really cared. I think he knows Gus is what's best for business, and like,
Yeah. You're probably right. You're probably right.
just I don't know, trying to get inside the head of Eladio.
Yeah. I think he's a businessman. He knows that anymore. Just letting this guy have his moment for blood, isn't going to help him at all. Blood's bad for business.
Right, whacking Gus there is not what's best for business.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's just the mental guy in a wheelchair. All right, just stay over. Yeah, you'll make eggs in the morning. You'll be on your way.
Yeah.
So
All right.
yeah, you're probably right. He probably has an inkling, but also there's no real proof. If they brought him like proof, showed that it happened, that showed that um, that there was definitely happened. His hand might be forced.
Yes, then his hand
Make
would
a
be
decision.
forced.
But there's no proof. The guy's just gone.
Yeah.
And it still looks like he died in the Nacho Varga thing.
Right.
So, and he's the scapegoat there, and the Peruvians are the scapegoats there.
Yes.
So,
and also that scene with Mike and Nacho's father was very. There was a lot of parallels there between Mike as a father, how his son died, and that guy, Nacho's father, the way he died.
Other side of the fence. Absolutely.
Yes.
And I mean, and like you said, man, he's like, you guys are all the same. And I think maybe I read something like, and sure enough, that's how Mike's going to go. But, really, I think that might be where Mike realizes he's not going back, that he's a gangster.
Right, yeah.
Like he probably had an inkling, but I think at this point he knows he's running jobs he's running detail for Gus Fring. He's a gangster now. Right? He might have his morals and his code or whatever, but
by criminal standards, he's a very.
You're on the other side. You're on that side of the fence now, Mike.
Yeah.
I think that's more so than like, yes, that's his fate. That's his. That's where he's headed. The same fate that Nacho had, he's going to have. Nothing ends well for those guys. I mean, that's a very easy kind of note to make, but I think that's even more so. That's a turning point in Mike's life.
Yes.
Because there he is trying to do the right thing, trying to relate to a father, trying to relate to a civilian, and the guy wants no part of it.
No, yeah, exactly, yeah.
And a lot of cops think like that too. I mean, that's the whole Serpico thing, right? I mean, they're brothers. They'll go out and they'll avenge their brothers. But when you do it in a uniform, it's one thing. When you do it for Chicken Man, drug dealer, another thing.
Right.
So, what else we got? What are we missing from that episode? It's always good to see Don Eladio. It's always great to see.
Yes, I do like seeing Don Eladio.
Yeah.
By the pool.
Where he belongs, yeah.
Always by the pool.
Drink, cigar, and pool. That's my man.
A little tequila. I think that covers it really.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah, the episode started out with it's just like the aftermath of everything, the cleanup, going on with their day.
yeah.
Covered the Hamlin Memorial. What else? What else was in the episode? Oh yeah, I guess we didn't really even talk about the breakup, but I got one thing from the last scene when when the hooker's over
Mm-hmm.
and he's like take a breakfast bar
Yeah.
and there's a bowl of breakfast bars, but she takes the cash. That's a lawyer thing, right? There's got to be breakfast bars on the table. Say that he offered the breakfast bar. Ever comes up, of course, like no, there's breakfast bars there. Offer the breakfast bar, even though she took the cash. It's all there. It's on record. He's on the phone when he said it.
Yeah.
So
All
I
right.
mean, it's like, right? It's like a lawyer thing, right? The covering your tracks, like with legalese.
Yeah. client attorney client privilege.
I don't think it works the same way with hookers.
Well,
Um,
I do have one thing. I thought it was funny how it's like back-to-back scenes where they show Gus drinking like $1,000 bottle of wine, and then they have Mike in the recliner drinking a PBR.
Yep.
Opposite worlds, opposite sides of the spectrum for those two guys.
Yep.
I thought that was cool. But yeah, other than that, I think we covered.
Well, Mike could afford the expensive bottle of wine. Really wanted.
No, I don't think he's interested in it.
No, he's definitely not. He's 1,000% not. But he could afford it.
Yeah.
He's gonna stick with his 6-pack of PBR. Though.
Yeah.
All right. That's a wrap, I think. Unless you got anything else.
No, that'll do it. Tapped out.
All right, we'll be back next Thursday. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for spending time with us on Sunday Pour. We'll be back here next week.
Take care, everyone. See you next week.